You could call him an author, a creator, a leader, and always a motivator. And you would be correct on all counts. Known throughout the world of cheerleading as Mr. Cheerleader, he is Lawrence Herkie Herkimer.
I didn't realize that I'd ever be full-time in the cheerleading business. I enjoyed being the cheerleader. I was a cheerleader in high school because I was a gymnast, and there weren't very many gymnasts in our high school. And I went to college, and I was cheerleader at SMU in 1943 and 1946, 7, and 8. And that's when I got started in the cheerleading camps in the summertime as a hobby.
Lawrence Herkimer, always the showman, would gain national recognition from a distinctive jump that was to be his spirit signature.
The Herkie jump came about, it was just the way that I used to jump. And I threw this one arm up real hard, and that would jerk this leg up the other way. And that's just what my jump looked like. Well, every time a magazine person or a newspaper would come out to my summer camp, I would put 3, 4 real pretty girls down front, and I would jump over the top of them. And that jump always looked the same. That was the way I jumped. And they just started calling it the Herkie. And so that was just the way I jumped.
It was only the beginning of a creative effort that would lay the foundation for modern cheerleading.
My idea was to have a club for cheerleaders, and we would send out, and they would exchange information. And then we would ask them to send in their favorite cheer or their favorite skit. And then we published a little magazine that came out quarterly called The Megaphone that would have some of these things in there. We just sort of grew up like Topsy. And I never will forget my father-in-law, how he thought I was crazy going into the cheerleading business and quitting my job at SMU and going into the cheerleading business. And the biggest thing, satisfaction to myself, was the last 10 years of his life he worked for me.
Herkie's creative design was evident in this original patent drawing of the first paper pom-pom. But he didn't stop there.
We got into camp clothes business first, and the camp clothes, the kids wanted to dress alike to when they came out and performed their cheers, but they couldn't go to a department store and get 20 outfits alike. And then several of the school principals came to me and they says, we don't like the way the kids are dressing, and we'd like to get some designs, some uniforms. And so we went into the uniform business, and I never ever imagined that it would be as big as it is now. The Spirit Stick started in California. I had a camp there in Redlands University, and we had a squad that came that were great kids. They have very little physical ability, but they had so much spirit that I decided that they needed some kind of recognition. So I broke a twig off of a tree and brought it up there, and I said, now I'm going to so-and-so, we're going to give them, this is a Spirit Stick. And because of the outstanding spirit that they have and so forth. And so then next year, the kids they started breaking limbs off of the trees on the campus, and some of them were overdoing things that we said, we've got to do something about this.
And so the tradition of the Spirit Stick was born.
They just got such a big deal out of it that it came to be one of the biggest awards you could get. Yeah, when I look back now with the different activities that we've got going, you know, the camps and the uniform business and the Spirit Sticks and the Herkie jump and the other things, I never realized it was going to be such a big deal. And it just kept growing. One thing would lead to another. It's a big thrill for me to see what my ideas that I had earlier and everything and how they've been expanded upon and improved upon, and what the limits of these children go. When I go to these contests, and now there's coaches who they've made their living as coaching cheerleading, and then other people that have formed uniform companies, and there's and publishing magazines and different things that were in cheerleading, and there's an awful lot of other things. And so many of them come up and say, you know, if it hadn't been for you, Herkie, we all wouldn't be here.